Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's Power Hour webinar on high quality communication with your learners. This webinar will provide practical tips, strategies to enhance your communication skills and to establish a meaningful connection with your learners. My name is Nhlanhla Sibanyoni, and I'm glad to be your host this afternoon. All right, who are we? MTC, in short for Macmillan Teacher Campus. We are a training provider of Macmillan Education. We are so passionate about education, hence our vision to empower, motivate, and develop all educators in South Africa by providing a learning pathway for continuing professional development. All right, so here's a quick overview of how we'll structure the webinar today, this afternoon. We're going to go through by the end of this webinar, you'll be able to understand the principles of effective communication, 2, learn strategies to enhance clarity and coherence in instructional communication, 3, explore methods to establish a rapport and trust with learners through communication, gain insights into adapting communication styles to meet diverse learner needs, acquire practical tips for providing constructive feedback and facilitating open dialogue, develop, promote active listening and understanding in educational interactions. So these outcomes aim to equip you with the knowledge and skills necessary to communicate effectively in class with your learners in your school and as well as in your classroom. All right. So high quality communication refers to the exchange of information, ideas, and emotions in a clear, respectful, and effective manner. And that involves transmitting messages accurately in class, understanding the perspectives of others, and fostering mutual understanding. High quality communication does not only do that, it also encompasses both verbal and non-verbal cues, as well as active listening and empathy. In educational settings, high quality communication between teachers and learners promotes engagement, learning, and positive relationships. Communication is the cornerstone of effective teaching and learning. It serves as the primary means through which teachers convey information, clarify concepts, and provide guidance to their learners. Clear and engaging communication helps learners grasp complex concepts. Not only that, they can also ask questions and collaborate with their peers. Communication skills are essential for building trust, rapport, and positive relationships between teachers and learners, enhancing the overall learning experience. Right, let's look at understanding your learners. High quality communication refers to the exchange of information, ideas, and emotions in a clear, respectful, and effective manner. And this involves transmitting messages accurately, understanding the perspectives of others, and fostering mutual understanding. Every learner is unique with different backgrounds, learning styles, and preferences. It fosters the supportive and inclusive learning environment where all learners feel valued and understood. Effective communication begins with the understanding and adapting to the diverse needs and preferences of your audience. So your audience in this case will be your learners in your classrooms. Right, so let's look at different learning styles. Learners process information in various ways, known as learning styles. We have visual learners. So these are learners that prefer seeing information through images, diagrams, and visual aids. We also have auditory learners. These are learners that learn best through listening and verbal explanations. We also have kinesthetic learners, which learn by doing and engaging in hands-on activities. Reading or writing learners prefer to learn through reading and writing activities. Understanding the diverse learning styles of your learners helps tailor your teaching methods to accommodate their preferences, incorporating a variety of teaching techniques, and that can appeal to different learning styles and enhance learning outcomes. Now let's look at cultural considerations while you're in class for effective communication. Right, so culture profoundly influences communication styles. And not only that, it also influences norms and values. Cultural awareness recognizes and respects cultural differences is essential for effective communication with learners from diverse backgrounds. Avoid stereotypes and assumptions, and embracing cultural diversity fosters inclusivity and promotes mutual understanding. Incorporating cultural elements into teaching materials and activities that you create for your class. It can enhance relevance and engagement for culturally diverse learners, especially now that we teach in schools that we cater for almost every type of a learner we have in the country. So it's very important that we are culturally sensitive because that builds communication trust, rapport, and a positive relationship in your learning classrooms. Active listening is a fundamental communication skill that involves fully engaging with the speaker and comprehending their message. It goes beyond simply hearing words to understanding the speaker's perspective or emotions and intentions. Active listening requires focused attention, empathy, and non-verbal cues to demonstrate understanding and support. It also involves techniques such as paraphrasing, summarizing, and asking clarifying questions to ensure accurate interpretation of the speaker's message. So the speaker in this case will be your learners in the classrooms. Active listening also fosters trust, rapport, and effective communication in teaching and learning environments. So now let's look at techniques that you can apply in your classroom. Establishing eye contact shows attentiveness and engagement with the speaker. So a learner will be asking a clarifying question there. So make sure you make an eye contact with that so that you engage fully with that learner. Nodding, facial expressions, and verbal affirmations demonstrate understanding and encouragement. So as you've been listening to the learner trying to explain his or her answer to you, pay careful attention, maintain the eye contact, make sure that you are comfortable, you are welcoming, your facial expression expresses that you want to hear more, you are interested in what the learner wants to say to you. Not only that, you can repeat key points just to make sure that you understand what the learner was asking or was putting forward. Repeat key points in your own words to confirm understanding and show empathy. Seek clarification to ensure accurate interpretation of the speaker's message or of the learner's message in this case. Allow the speaker to express themselves fully without any interruptions. So give them time to say exactly what is it that you want to say, and thereafter you probe in questions just so that you also get yourself involved in the thinking of what the learner is about to say or what the learner has just said to you. Acknowledge and validate the learner's emotions to show empathy and understanding. It's very important that even when the learner is totally off of what you've asked as a question, make sure that you show emotions and try to, with the questions that you'll be probing, try to bring her back or him back into what is it that you asked to answer the question that you asked, you put up front. Acknowledge and validate the learner's emotions to show empathy and understanding, and offer a constructive feedback and support to help the learner feel heard and valued. So it's very important that you don't leave the learner behind in all of this. So while you're communicating in class, you make sure that you offer a constructive feedback and offer support so that the learner can feel heard and valued to the input that they put forward. Eliminate distractions and focus fully on the learner to demonstrate respect and attentiveness. Nothing as annoying as you speaking to someone and they are not paying attention to you, or they are not listening to what you're saying. So the same feeling the learner do have in class when they give feedback and you are not responding, or you're not giving full attention. Hence, at a later stage or a day after, you find that when you're asking questions, learners are not engaging so much, because even when they give you answers, or when they give you answers that they think correct, you are not fully engaging with them. So at many a times, in most cases, eliminate distractions, focus on what the learner is saying, and that will demonstrate respect and attentiveness. But not only that, put yourself in the learner's shoes to understand their perspective and feelings, and that will eventually avoid forming judgments or assumptions, and approach the conversation with an open mind. So in a class situation, it doesn't matter that SIPO gave you trouble yesterday or a day before, or in Afrikaans class. Now it's a mathematics class. You treat every interaction we have with the kids as if it's a new interaction. You sing the kid for the first time, so that the conversation you attend to the conversation or the interaction you have with the kids with an open mind. Right, so let's look at clear and concise messaging. Clarity in communication is essential for ensuring understanding and comprehension among learners. Your clear communication, it will eliminate ambiguity, confusion, and misinterpretation of information. It's very important, colleagues, that when you are in class, your communication is very clear, just so that learners can follow what is it that has to be done. And if your communication is clear and it's less confusing, it will show, because most of your learners in your class will give you the answers that you're expecting. It also enables learners to grasp concepts more easily, leading to an improved retention and application of knowledge. Clear instructions and explanations facilitate tasks completion and promote independent learning. So once all of that, your instructions are clear, are less ambiguous, they are not confusing, the information is clear to learners, they will take that information and do it to the task fully, because now related to the task fully, because there were no misunderstanding in terms of your communication. And it is clear on their side what is it that they have to do in order to satisfy or to go through all the learning experience. In academic settings, clarity and communication fosters academic success and reduces frustration, anxiety among learners. And it's not only frustration to the learners, even you as a teacher, because you'll be happy with the quality of work that you're receiving from them. So it's very important that we make sure that our communication is clear, the questions we ask are clear, there's no confusion. That will transfer to the answers and the quality of work that we get from our learners. Effective communication enhances engagement, participation, and collaboration in the learning process. There's nothing as good as in a class when you explain a certain concept and learners follow, and not only that they follow, they start asking questions, they engage with the work that you're giving to them, with the explanations that you're giving to them. That is a good feeling, colleagues. And how do we get to that? By participation in collaboration, the process of learning is then established because there will be that interaction between you and the learners. And ultimately, clarity in communication promotes a positive learning environment and facilitates the achievement of learning goals. And when that is achieved, all the stakeholders are happy. You as a teacher, your learners are happy as well because you're getting the quality that you expect of them. Right, so avoiding jargon and complex language. Clarity in communication is essential for ensuring understanding and comprehension among learners. It is very important that you clarify your instructions. Right, so by avoiding jargon and complex language, we can enhance communication clarity and promote effective learning experiences for all learners. By providing definitions for technical terms or jargon that may be unfair to learners. So this becomes a problem now because you provide technical terms that you don't even explain to the learners or you don't bring it to their level. Replace the technical language with simple, everyday language that is easy to understand. Tailor your language to the knowledge level and background of your learners by giving them practical examples that they are used to. Prioritize clarity over sophistication and language choice to ensure comprehension. Break down complex concepts into simpler, digestible components to aid an understanding. So you bring it down to their level. Offer context of real-world examples. Examples to help learners grasp abstract concepts. So you give them examples of their environment. You give them examples that they're familiar with. Make sure you spell out acronyms and abbreviations to prevent confusion among learners. It's shorthand. MTC, for example, is very easy on the tongue to say it, but you make sure that you spell out what is MTC, Macmillan Teacher Campus, for example. And use analogies or metaphors to relate complex ideas to their familiar concepts. So when you make examples, currently now on TV, we see there's Olympics taking place in Paris. So those are some of the things most of our learners are watching that now, or that is something that is out there that is trending in social media. So use examples such as that, things that are happening currently in their lives that affects them or that they get to see every day. Keep sentences short and concise. Avoid unnecessary complexity. So that will help also for them to grasp all the concepts that you're trying to put across. Check for comprehension by asking learners to explain concepts in their own words or provide examples. So this is after you've explained the concept. Ask them to interpret it in their own language. They can give examples from their background and how they can relate this concept into their everyday lives. So you're bringing it back to what they are used to. Right, so what is the importance of empathy in teaching? By prioritizing empathy in teaching, teachers can create inclusive, supportive, and enriching learning environments that empower learners to thrive academically, socially, and emotionally. Empathy builds trust between teachers and learners by showing understanding and support. It also empathetic teachers can better understand learners' needs, concerns, and perspectives, leading to a clearer communication. So now you're getting to understand what is it that makes your learners tick. You become empathetic, you understand their needs, their concerns, and that will clarify your communication in classrooms. It also promotes a sense of belonging and connection. It encourages learners to actively participate and engage in the learning process because they feel that their needs have been catered for. This teacher really feels what I'm feeling. This teacher is with me. This teacher thinks the way I think. This teacher understands my thinking. Empathetic teaching creates a safe and supportive environment so your learners will feel safe and supported. Um, they will feel valued and emotionally supported. Once you win that part of your learners, your classroom transforms as well. It minimizes the frustration on your side because you get to understand your learners, and the learners, once they receive that, they replicate it back to you. The quality of work that you'll be receiving from that will minimize the stress in your teaching environment. It also fosters collaboration and cooperation among learners by promoting empathy-driven interactions and relationships. Your classroom transforms into becoming a learning center or a learning area where everyone is happy. They share their relationships, they share their ideas, they interact with one another, and that promotes the learning process in your classroom. So by modeling empathetic behavior, teachers help learners develop essential social and emotional skills, such as perspective taking, and conflict resolution. Empathy teaches learners to recognize and manage their emotions, fostering resilience and emotional intelligence. We also mentioned that you need to give a positive feedback and encouragement. So learner feedback is a crucial component of the educational process because it offers valuable insights into how well learners are grasping the material and identifying areas of improvement. Encouraging learners through constructive feedback not only enhances their understanding but also boosts their confidence and motivation. So, by recognizing their achievements and guiding them through challenges, we are creating an environment that fosters growth and supports the journey towards mastery. This positive reinforcement helps our learners stay engaged, embrace continuous improvement, and it also so as they achieve their full potential. So it's very important, colleagues, to always time and again to give a feedback and encourage. It can be a one-on-one feedback. It can be a feedback when you give it to the entire class because they did very well on the task that you've given them, or the interaction, the understanding of the concept of a new concept that you just taught. So all of that encompasses and makes a communication to be clearer in the classroom. So now let's look at a non-verbal communication techniques that you may use. Understanding and leveraging the power of body language enhances communication effectiveness, and it fosters positive relationships, and it also promotes mutual understanding and teaching and learning environment. So the body language, the facial expressions, the gestures, and posture communicate messages without words. And that is a significant role in communication. Right, so warm, genuine smiles convey approachability, friendliness, and positivity. So in many a times, classrooms try to be smiling all the time. So maintaining an appropriate eye contact, that on its own, it demonstrates attentiveness, respect, and engagement in communication. So your learners will become comfortable knowing that you are really taking what they are saying into consideration and you are listening to them attentively. Standing or sitting with an open posture. For example, don't speak to your learners with crossed arms. So signals that it also signals openness if you are talking to your learners with an open posture. It also um, shows that you are confident enough on what you are saying, on what you are teaching. It allows them to also interact with you. It shows the confidence to them as well as, and then they will replicate it to you, back to you as well. So gestures complement verbal communication. So you'll be saying, for example, well done, Klein class, and then by clapping, you follow that with clapping of hands. So they complement verbal communication by emphasizing and clarifying or reinforcing messages of what you wanted to put across. Using technology for communication. So we're in an era now that technology is everywhere, colleagues. We're in a situation where our learners are using cell phones. We're in a situation where our learners are forever on their tablets. We're in a situation where even our material, the material that we use in our classrooms now, they can download from the website and all that. So we need to embrace technology in communication, as this enhances the effectiveness, accessibility, and inclusivity of teaching and learning experience. This is where our learners are at now, colleagues. We have no other way but to meet them halfway. So in the digital age, mastering online communication is very, very vital. I mean, even today now you're attending this webinar using some are on your, you logged on using your cell phones. So this is a digital age where we are using all the communication gadgets that we can have. So online communication platforms, they offer flexibility in scheduling and accessing educational resources, accommodating diverse learning preferences and schedules. Not only that, digital platforms allow teachers to tailor communication to individual learners and preferences, and enhancing and engaging and also understanding. So you can create tasks that are related to the preference of your learners in the classroom. You can assess using technology, and that will only talk to a particular learner, for example. So your learners that are doing very well or they catch up quickly, you can put assessment tasks, you can give them more. You can give them assessment tasks, they can research, you can give them extra work that is only directed to them. And obviously those who are lagging behind, you can create assessment tasks that relate to them by the use of technology, assistance of the technology. So digital resources such as videos, simulations, and interactive tutorials, these things enrich communication by offering dynamic and engaging learning materials. Like I mentioned earlier, you create or you use the resources directly to the needs of the learners in the classrooms. So we look at tools like Jamboard, your Microsoft Whiteboard. These enable collaborative brainstorming, sharing of ideas, and visual communication in virtual classrooms or meetings. So platforms like Google Docs Microsoft OneDrive and Dropbox, they enable real-time document editing. Collaboration and feedback is immediate, facilitating group projects and peer review and all of that. So we also have platforms like your WebEx, your GoToWebinar that you are using now. This will allow you colleagues to host live webinars, presentations, events with large audiences. So you can take it a step further, and this you can use it for your extra classes in the Saturday morning or in the afternoons, where children can log in sitting at home in their devices. Right, so how do we overcome communication barriers in our classrooms? So by implementing the following strategies, you can overcome communication challenges, promote understanding, and create inclusive and engaging learning experiences for all your learners. All right, so let's look at the strategies. Clarify expectations. So you clearly communicate expectations, instructions, and objectives to ensure understanding and alignment among learners. Use simple, clear language and avoid technical terms that may be unfair to your learners. Create a safe and supportive environment where learners feel comfortable asking questions and seeking clarification. You can also utilize visual aids, diagrams, multimedia resources, just to supplement verbal explanations and enhance understanding. Most of your classes now, they have smart boards. So those are the whiteboards that you might be using just um, to supplement your verbal explanations by putting pictures. If you're gonna talk of, for example, of Mount Kilimanjaro, you can find a picture of that explaining all these other types of examples that you might have. So you put it in a picture form for those visual learners. You can also encourage peer collaboration, group discussions, teamwork, things like that will help to promote shared learning and problem solving. So that you have your visual learners, you have the learners who learn through reading. They can explain to each other. One will be explaining the content, the other one, because of the visual that you'll be seeing on the board, they can explain it even further. Provide guidance and support for using digital tools effectively, and that will address technical issues promptly and ensuring accessibility for all your learners. Feedback, colleagues. Provide constructive feedback to help learners improve their communication skills and overcome challenges. It's very important that time and again, learners get your feedback. Time and again, learners get your feedback. Continuously reflect on communication practices, gather feedback from learners, and adjust strategies as needed to optimize communication. Right, so these are the strategies that you can use to overcome communication barriers in your classrooms. Right, so as I close off, colleagues, enhancing communication with your learners is an ongoing process. Seek feedback, reflect on your interactions, and continuously refine your communication skills for better engagement. Master effective communication, build strong connections with your learners, and apply these strategies to create and engage and support learning environment in your classrooms. With that said, colleagues, thank you so much for attending today's session on quality communication with your learners. So thank you so much. This is where you can find us at Macmillan Teacher Campus. You can send us an email. You can visit us on the website www.macmilleneducation. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. All right, thank you so much, colleagues.